Hello, everyone. Again, it's Allison from AllisonReeves.co, and I'm going to make sure that we're live because it did not go live in the Facebook group. Okay, it looks like it should be live now. This is the Glow and Grow free training, and we are live. Yay. Okay. So, welcome to the Glow and Grow free training. I'm so excited about this training. I just want to change this title here in Facebook so you guys know this is the right video. And then I'm also going to make sure that people know this video is in the event. I'm going to try to do this fast, but I see a bunch of you here. So just say hello in the comments. I'm going to start in less than 2 minutes. I just always like to share the live video in the event because sometimes people will hop over into the actual event instead of the group and be like, hey, where are you? So I'm sorry about this little delay, but we are almost ready. And I'm so grateful for you guys who are here. I went live and it didn't go live, so I had to create a whole other event in StreamYard. Okay. And now we can just jump in. So welcome to the Grow and Glow live event. I'm excited to do this. I've been so busy. I didn't realize like how much time I had to work in my own business, but also how much free time I had until like the last of the 6 weeks or so. And so I've just been really busy and I wanted to make sure I had something on the calendar to just hang out with you guys before the end of the year. I've been teaching. Oh, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. People new to my work. Let me hop in Facebook. I can see the comments. Yes. Hello. So, I've been teaching kind of 4 similar pillars that I've called my, like, I don't know, I've had multiple names for them. And a lot has changed this year. A lot has changed for me personally. Things have changed for clients of mine. And so, like, the way that I've been teaching things in a lot of 2023 is shifting as it always does. But I feel like it was a great time to just kind of like review what really has changed, how I see things changing for clients, how I've changed this year, what I'm changing in my business this year. And there's so much more flexibility in how we like build wealth than we realize, especially because we forget that as business owners who have a component of our business online, right? We're connecting right now on the internet. It can seem like it's a big world when it's really not. The online portion of entrepreneurs is actually small. And so it makes us feel like everyone's doing this, or there's competition, but it makes us feel like there's an overwhelming amount of competition, or it makes us feel like it's going to be really hard to differentiate ourselves, or there's only a few ways to do things. And when you remember that, most of the people in the universe are not doing this, or if you think about how many people in your everyday life that are online entrepreneurs, or even expanding beyond that, how many people in your day-to-day real life now are just like full-time solopreneurs, period, or full-time on their own, period. It's a pretty small number. And I don't think I really realized how unique it was what I was doing as someone who's successfully been home full-time for 4 years now. I didn't realize how unique that was until a colleague of mine, he's a high up manager at Chevron, which is an oil and gas company. And he said, maybe just a few months ago, it's really amazing that you've done this. It's really amazing that you like quit your full-time job and you're still doing the thing. And I was like, holy crap, that is amazing. Like I just forgot because I'm just comparing myself to people who are doing this as long as I have and they're making more money, or comparing myself to people who've been doing it way longer and making more money or have a bigger audience or whatever. And I forget how unique it is that we're doing what we're doing. And because what we're doing is unique, we also can forget how many ways there are to do it. So I say all that to say that is part of what this framework update is based on. Like if you've seen any of my free trainings, you've probably seen some steps in this framework, but it is all changing. So I'm excited to share this with you. I do have slides. They're pretty simple. So if slides don't feel supportive to you, then you can just let me know. I see there's a bunch of people here live. So I would love for more of you to comment just so I can see who's here. Because I don't know, like I don't see names popping up for who's here. I can just see that there's people live. So that just makes it fun for me. Also, the more comments and questions you guys have, I enjoy the engagement, obviously, and the more comments and questions I have during a live, the more I can like meet you where you are. So say things. It makes it fun for me. But I have plenty to say, even if you don't say anything at all. So let me share my slides. Hopefully this is simple, and there it is. It is simple. So I only have a few slides today. It's not like an epic webinar style presentation. I do have gifts at the end as well. So I'm gifting messenger time with me in Facebook Messenger, and I also have what I call an alignment audit, and those are both free, no catch, no opt-in. So I'll link those at the end. If you end up not being able to stay the whole time, you can watch this on YouTube or live later and just skip to the end to get those links. So, or if you're here and you're watching the replay and you're like, I don't want to hear all this, and you just want to skip to the end, you can do that. Hello, Victoria. Okay, so welcome to Glow and Grow. My name is Allison, and I'm a world-class marketer and somatic healing coach. I feel pretty confident about that title, world-class marketer. It sounds pretentious, but especially after getting back into a little bit of service-based corporate work, I feel more confident than ever that I know a lot of things about marketing. And I'm on a mission to empower business owners like you and like me to heal your wealth wounds so you can indulge in dreams you thought were out of reach. So I'm deeply grounded and rooted in the practical sides of marketing. And I discovered the last couple of years, especially, that people had these invisible blocks that were their mindset and their nervous system. If we don't address those invisible blocks, some of the practical blocks, like marketing and making money, can experience more friction. So we have to address all of that holistically, which I'll talk about. Our agenda for today is I'm going to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes I've seen kind of emerge or reemerge. These are the patterns I've seen. Like, there's lots of mistakes I could put in a presentation. And these, I feel like, were the 3 things I said a lot to one-on-one clients, the 3 things I worked through personally. So I'll be talking about that. And then the 4 steps for your unique and aligned 6-figure strategy. So these are like the 4 pillars that you'll cover holistically in your business. And I'm going to give you guys some really specific examples on, like, one of the pillars, for example, is income stacking. And you can income stack in your solopreneur business, but you can also income stack by using a side hustle and a full-time job, or using a side hustle and a part-time job. And what I found this year was that I had clients who became solopreneurs, and one client who became a solopreneur, and she learned a lot of lessons while we were working together, to where she went from $4,000 months to $13,000 months. And at the end of that, when she was able to get her recurring income up to $13,000 months, she realized she got a 6-figure job offer. And she was like, that actually feels really good. But so she's looking now for a full-time job with a 6-figure salary. But had she not gone through what she went through to get to 13K on her own, she wouldn't have valued herself enough to take that full-time job with that higher salary. So anyway, that's one of the pillars we'll talk about. And then how to repeat this routine on autopilot. So the very last step of the 4 pillars is the key to making this work for you over and over again. I like to mention this. I grew my income 200% 3 consecutive years, and I was always stressed about money. And what that tells me, especially in hindsight with working with more people through this issue, can you guys hear my dog whining? Oh, I forgot to turn I'm going to put on my fancy camera. Am I going to break things? I might break things, but hopefully not. Not my fancy camera, but my fancy microphone, because I want the audio quality to be amazing. Testing. If you can hear my, let me know if it's annoying, and I will put him out if I need to. He loves to be here. Oh, my microphone automatically switched. Hello, ASMR. So what this told me was that my problems with money were not necessarily all about money. So if you're stressed about money when you don't have it, and then you're stressed about money when you do, it might not be a money problem. It might be something else. So this training incorporates how I've shifted that and how I keep shifting it for myself and clients. So these are the 3 mistakes I saw as kind of the biggest patterns in 2023. Mistake number 1, I can make the slides bigger. Is that better? We'll try that. So mistake number 1 is attachment to shoulds. This is not something I invented. You guys know this is a problem. And I saw this pretty big this year for some reason when I was like helping clients. So I know I need to, like, these are some examples of what clients would say. I know I need to focus on my blog traffic, but I don't want to neglect my Instagram. So what happens? You're not writing that many blog posts. You're half-assing Instagram. They're both growing, but at a snail's pace. Your attention is divided. And maybe that works for me and maybe it doesn't. A second thing I heard was I enjoy creating long form content. I love doing that. I love the editing process, but I feel like YouTube might penalize me if I don't do YouTube shorts. Or a third thing I heard, actually, this is a thing I said, not that I heard. I enjoy doing hourly work. I'm doing hourly work as in my new integrator offer. It's a good hourly price. It's a higher hourly price. It's the hourly price I tell my clients to charge that nobody charges. It's higher than that. So it's a high hourly rate. However, people tell me even at that high hourly rate that I need to outsource, that I need to become an agency, that I can't do the work myself or I'll cap my income. And I say that you should focus on alignment first. We'll talk more about this in a couple slides, but alignment will lead to consistency and sustainability. And consistency and sustainability, that's what will lead to long-term wealth. Burnout makes things really hard. Or if you hate doing things in your business, that makes your growth really hard. So with this one client, the first client, we decided let's focus on the blog first, because the more you grow your traffic, the more you'll grow your opt-ins, the more you'll grow your affiliate sales, the more you'll grow your course sales, the more you'll grow your coaching sales. If we just focus on the traffic, we'd been working together for a while, so she had all the systems. So once she started focusing and going all in on just creating more blog content, guess what happened? She started making more money. It was amazing. She's making affiliate revenue. She got her first coaching sales. And she spent tens of thousands of dollars with a Facebook ads agency that really failed her, and is finally making money by just working on blog content and being consistent. On the second client, she decided to prioritize long form content on YouTube, and she's still doing some shorts, but she's going to be dropping them because they're not leading to subscribers and they're not leading to some of the other results that she wants. Her channel is growing so fast. It's only like 2 months old and she has, gosh, I wonder how many subscribers she has now. She definitely had over 600 the last time I looked, and that's under 6 weeks. So she's doing amazing. I just want to see if I can find it super fast. Can't find it fast, so it'll be a mystery forever. You'll never know. Okay, and then for me, like I decided to really prioritize hourly work. I started at a certain rate, and then the next client I got was at the next highest rate, and then moving up to the next highest rate. And I have a cap on what I'm comfortable with for the hourly rate. But when just doing hourly work, I have a wait list now for my integrator offer until February. And so, like, could I become an agency and hire people under me? Sure. I could expand my capacity, but having a wait list for things really creates demand. It puts the price up. And I would rather personally be full with my integrator offer and just leave it as it is. Like, I'm an integrator, I do the work, I remove the noise for people, I help their dreams come true. I can help manage the team, but I don't hire, like, I'm not subcontracting. I'm just managing their contractors. I can even help them hire contractors. And then I want to scale my business. Instead of scaling it to 7 figures with the integrator offer, I want to scale it with passive offers. I have the same hangups about other ways that people tell you to grow business online, but I'm just saying it worked. It's working for me. I'm not doing what people told me to, and it's working for me. Mistake number 2 is that sometimes people have mindset problems that are actually practical problems. Example, I had a client who she was procrastinating and she thought that this was a mindset problem, but it turned out that she actually didn't have any clarity on what to do. So she wasn't procrastinating because she was being like lazy or she had discipline problems. She was procrastinating because she didn't have clarity. But the opposite can also happen, where sometimes people have a practical problem that's actually a mindset problem. So I had another client who was procrastinating and she was trying to just like force herself to take action, but it turned out that her work routine was bringing up unresolved trauma. And so once we did a somatic session and worked through the inner child needs that needed to be met, then she didn't have a problem procrastinating anymore. She used to like hate working at night and she thought it was like a problem with working at night. And then we realized there was like this trauma issue that was attached to it. Now the nighttime is her favorite time to work. So you have to be, I don't know what the fix for this is. Like I don't have a specific fix on this slide because I have to hear you. So if you Like whether it's a practical problem or a mindset problem, like we can be really confused on which one it is. And I won't know until I like hear you talking about it. And then like I'll know intuitively, like, oh, you're right about what kind of problem that is. Or, oh, you're saying it's this kind of problem, but I actually think it might be this kind of problem. And here's why. So if you have a question about this mistake, you can just comment and we can talk about it. Or yes, that's the option. That's the one option. You can message me on Facebook. There's a call to action at the end of the slides. Mistake number 3 is that I've seen so much, and this happened in 2020, but it was true. So in 2020, it was like everything is changing, but like everything did change. Where in 2023, things are shifting and people are talking like everything is changing, but it's not. Not everything is changing. There's been shifts in the market this year, and you guys have felt it, right? Like people are buying a little slower, they're buying a little differently. People are there's like this hesitation with anything recurring, like memberships. People are like constantly looking for like membership subscriptions and tools that can cancel more so than they did in previous years. People are buying coaching differently. And there are people buying high ticket packages. I have a client who jumped into coaching for the first time. So he's new, no audience. He has a lot of past amazing corporate experience. So he's not just like pulling information from thin air, but very brand new life coach, not a business coach, successfully selling $25,000 packages. So, like, coaching is selling. Coaching is here to stay. Coaching is a growing industry. And the way that people buy coaching has changed because a lot of people have purchased high ticket packages. Some did really well. Some were really disappointed. There's a lot more hesitation than there was before. And I think that's rightfully so. So, things are changing, but there's not like a drastic change in the internet and the way that people are buying, in my opinion. And that was a mistake I saw. Like a lot of people just kind of like, if you get a full time job, you should do it because it's aligned, not because you're afraid. Or you should get a full time job, not even because a full time job is aligned, but because you need it to regulate your nervous system. That's another good reason to get a full time job because it's really hard to be successful when you're traumatizing yourself through your business, which is a thing that happens. So now I want to go through the 4 pillars. Any questions about any of that? Let me know. Okay. I'm so grateful for all you guys that are here. I just wish I was seeing more of your faces or comments in the chat. So these are I've talked about 4 pillars a million times. So I've had I often talk about these are the 4 pillars to da 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 da. These are different because I feel like change is needed. So in the past for 2023, most of my pillars, 3 out of the 4 of them had to do with mindset. And I realized that we're a little out of balance. Or 2023 Allison was just all into the woo. And 2024 Allison we're rebalancing a little bit. So Allison was super mega practical, no woo at all. And then I swung all the way to the other side of where we're very woo. And we launched a manifesting course. And now 2024 Allison is in the middle. We're rebalancing a little bit. So I had to update the pillars. So these are 4 pillars to finding your unique and aligned 6-figure strategy. Mindset is first. And this is going to be quick. I'm going to breeze through these. And then I'll do probably more trainings on these individual pillars. But and I can hang on any of these that we need more conversation about. But I plan to just go through these kind of quickly today. So the 4 pillars are mindset, your head. I'll explain all these. Marketing, income stacking, and energetics. Last year, I was talking about these as mindset, marketing, nervous system, energetics. So 3 pillars on energetics and woo, and just 1 on marketing. But I feel like income stacking is a huge thing we need to focus on more. Is now that we've got the marketing in place, how can we stack our income? It's a huge part of what I do. It's just not a huge part of what I've been teaching in master classes like this. So we are coming to the middle. So mindset. If you don't think that it will work, it can't, or it's very hard to, or you'll manifest problems with it. So before you even create these pillars, by the way, these are in this order for a reason, because it's really hard to have successful marketing when your mindset sucks. It's really hard to stack your income when your marketing sucks. And it's really hard to manifest success if you don't have a regulated nervous system, which depends on income stacking. So in energetics, it's really hard to focus on energetics when you are unsafe financially. So we have to address the practical money side and income stacking before we work on energetics. So if you don't think it work, it can't. A lot of what I talk about with mindset work is the wealth wounds. So you can take this free quiz to figure out, and you could take this like every couple months. You'll probably get a different result depending on what's the most current wealth wound for you. And there's an option in the quiz where like you don't have a wealth wound, like you're doing pretty good. So that may happen too. But if you haven't looked at my wealth wound quiz before, I would recommend looking at that. Another thing I see people not doing is creating a routine around your mindset. So you guys might go to like a mindset training or buy a mindset course and you're like, wow, that was really good. And then that's the end of it. I highly recommend like creating a routine around mindset. So in my Success Mindset Mastery course, which a ton of you have, and a couple hundred of you have it from Lizzie's Christmas party. I've never had it in a free bundle before. It's a $400 course. No one's ever bought it for less than $44 when I put it as like a mega sale. So a bunch of you have it now for a $100 upsell. But anyway, in Success Mindset Mastery, create a routine. So mindset is something that it's not a one and done situation. You have to build on new beliefs all the time. New issues will come up and you have to come back. And then lastly, be intentional about your vision and your desires. This is a huge part of mindset routines. And an easy way to do this is like if you into astrology at all, doing new moon journaling every month, it's like a great way to have in your routine, creating a vision and creating a dream. Alternatively, you can just do quarterly planning, but use some time in your quarterly planning to dream, to have a vision, to be specific about what that vision looks like. Because part of mindset, there's so many studies that show that visualizing the thing that you want to accomplish helps it become a reality. And this goes into like bigger goal setting and visions, but it's also very, like they talk about this a lot in sports and like visualizing the outcome that you want, visualizing, practicing throwing the basketball or putting what are the insert golf terms here? Like showing that doing these things in your mind helps you get the result that you want in person. Can you tell I'm like really into sports? Now let's talk about marketing. So coming to the comments, one thing I struggle with is embracing the masculine energy with business. I'm all about the feminine. So you have to, so then the next two pillars are for you. If you're really good at the feminine already, you have to tie that into the masculine, and you don't want to overly like rebalance, right? So like in my background, I was like super masculine and then I had to learn the feminine and I swung the pendulum all the way over here, which is fine. And now there's a rebalancing. But we always want to come back to the middle. So we want to have both, experience duality, masculine, feminine, balance, etc. So in marketing, your first step is determining personality, platform, and product. So however you market needs to be based on these three things. So go ahead and there's 16 of you here, at least live right now. Just comment in the chat, what are you selling? What is the thing? What is you can go into business or into detail about your business, but what are you selling? So a mistake that I see a lot of people making is that they'll start with the platform. So for example, I had a sales call today and she's blogging. And so because she has a blog, she's like working on affiliate products and things like that. However, when I talked to her on the sales call, it turns out what she really wants to be doing ultimately is coaching. And so I said, if you ultimately want to be doing coaching, affiliate revenue is fine. Like you'll make some money, but rather than if you have a blog where you're making affiliate revenue first, you want to keep people on the blog because your money's coming from people clicking through in the blog. If you want to make money with coaching, you want to move people off the blog. You want them to get a free lead magnet, move them into your email list. And so like knowing that the end goal is coaching, that changes how we're marketing. The product informs how you're marketing. Similarly, the platform changes how you're marketing. There are like you can have a blog for coaching, but if you want coaching sales in the next 30 days, then blogging is not an effective platform for you to start getting fast sales. It's a great platform to build longevity and stability, but it's not a great platform for fast. Unless you find another lever to pull, like your email list is a lever you can pull. That's like a whole other training probably. So some of what we're selling is creativity coaching. So and then we have one-on-one energy healing services. So whether like if you're selling coaching, or healing, which I would consider also kind of like coaching, then if you want to start a blog, that's fine, but the blog is not going to be the fastest way for you to get clients. Whereas a fast way for you to get clients is going to be maybe starting a Facebook group, or this is an underutilized tool, doing a local workshops. Ooh, meeting people not on the internet. That's a very powerful way to build trust fast. So your marketing is determined by personality, platform, product. So just quickly touching on personality. We're going to talk about sustainability in a second somewhere, but we talk about it on this slide. So with personality, like let's say I'm telling you the fastest way to get clients is through Instagram Reels, which it's not, in my opinion, but let's say that I told you that. Even if that's factually true, if you hate Instagram Reels, if you hate creating them, you hate making video, you hate being on video, you hate social media in general, that is not going to be the best way for you to market. Even if I think that it is, because it's not aligned for you, it's not going to be effective. So we have to find another way. So that's the next thing is personality, platform, product. Start with those things to sell your stuff, to decide how you're going to market. Secondly, is that consistency wins. So, and first of all, there's two things about consistency. Number one is that you determine what consistency is. Consistency doesn't necessarily mean every week or every day. It just means that you can do it on a regular interval that's appropriate for you and your kids and your job and your life and your mental abilities and productivity and whatever. This time of day in the winter, the lighting is so weird, and it's like, I want some natural lighting in here, but the blinds are just like insane. Okay, there we go. So that's the first thing about consistency. And then alignment determines if consistency will be sustainable for you. So if you're like, this has happened before where I've had clients who are, I've had a bunch of clients who are ADHD, and they'll like have a goal that's like super ambitious, and then it's like really hard for them to follow through on. So we have to come up with a plan that is ambitious and aligned. And it's not about shaming people who don't get things done. It's just about collecting data. So we created a plan, and your actual implementation was really far away from how we designed the plan. So that data tells me we need a different plan, because I'd rather see you win with something that's super minimal than create this really ambitious plan and have you feel down on yourself. And the last thing about marketing that's super important is leverage. So if your entire marketing strategy is just mass messaging people on Facebook, it's not going to be my favorite way for you to grow. It's going to be an amazing way to possibly get sales in the short term. So my client who's selling $25,000 coaching packages is, when he first started, he was mass DMing past contacts on LinkedIn, and that worked for him. Ooh, but it's not the easiest thing to scale. And I know there are people in your DMs who are telling you that they can get you 50 coaching calls a day, and they're going to have AI chatbots doing DMs for you. And if that feels aligned for you, that's fine. But I'm guessing that that is not aligned for most people. So you have to find a leverage way to market. And one of the first priorities for finding leveraged ways to market. So what does a lever do? It gives you like more force without more strength. That's what a leverage does. So leveraged marketing means that we can get more without more effort, more platforms, and more action. And part of this is finding a watering hole. So whenever somebody's describing something they want to sell, I'm trying to get my head around, what is the watering hole going to be? Where are we going to go that we can dip into over and over again without burning out or burning other people out to market? So this is like, how can you market one to many? And then secondly, with leveraged marketing, we have to automate and systematize. So I love talking about my first started coaching real estate agents, and they're very bad at leveraged marketing because they'll just do open houses over and over again, call people up, mail out postcards, and they forget about using tools that have leverage, like, sign-in sheets that turn into email lists, or buying an ad, or like a lot of realtors are just like not great at online marketing. So if they create an email list, they can market to the same lead over and over again instead of just trying to have coffee with everyone and their mom in the neighborhood. Okay, and now income stacking. So this is like, how can we make more money without working more? A lot of people love to talk about passive income, and passive income is great, but there's not a lot of income streams that are truly passive. Even blogging is not truly passive. You have to maintain it, you have to do the SEO, update links. I mean, if you buy a house and it sits on the market and appreciates in value and then you sell the house, that is truly passive income. Or like, in a way, stocks can be passive income. Your retirement account can be passive income. Even though a lot of those still have active components, even real estate, you still have to do something with the house, put tenants in it, etc. So most people, when they talk about passive income, what they really want is just leveraged income. How can I make more money without working more? That's what we really want. And it's great if you have a goal to be a full-time entrepreneur. But one trend I've seen is like a lot of people coming home to themselves. It's like, I liked entrepreneurship, but there's a lot of things about it that are hard. And like, maybe it would be worth working 40 hours a week if you didn't have to constantly find your own clients. And if you could just chill and have a job that paid you well and felt like a good culture fit. Um, Maybe that is more nourishing to your nervous system. Maybe having a full-time job helps you be more present with your kids. And maybe not, because like having a full-time job is very limiting. It's like 40 hours a week to be doing one thing is a lot of your time. But for some people, it is totally aligned to do that. And I will say too here, one of the biggest life changes for me was not having a multiple six-figure year, even though that was very cool. One of the biggest life changes I had was adding $1,000 to my monthly income when I had a full-time job. I just remember this moment. It was Thanksgiving morning at 2 o'clock in the morning. I forget what year. It was probably 2018 or 2019. Our ceiling collapsed in the living room, which is pretty dramatic at 2 o'clock in the morning. And luckily, it only cost $1,000 to fix, but $1,000, most people don't have $1,000 just sitting around. But we did, and we could fix that easily. And I remember thinking, like, I'm so grateful this is not like a dreadful emergency. We had someone come and fix it, we paid for it, and that was the end of it. And that $1,000 of extra income a month made a huge difference in my life. I said this wasn't going to be long, and I've already been talking for 32 minutes. Hopefully, it's helpful though. Okay, other examples of how you can income stack. Services plus creating an agency. That's what people want me to do. Services plus selling a course. That's what I want to do. Blogs, you can stack your income with ads and affiliates. Or with a blog, you can stack your income with coaching and affiliates. And with a job, you can have a full-time job and a side hustle. Or with a job, you can have a part-time job and a side hustle. You can do services and then dog training. I had a client that did this. She was had a marketing agency, and she had done like, $8,000 months, but she was like, I just can't think anymore. I need to make more money without thinking more. So she got a dog training thing that was averaged out to be about $100 an hour, which is perfectly fine for her. And then she was able to keep her income up without having to think. She could do the dog thing. Or you could do something like coaching and selling paintings. It doesn't all have to deal with education, right? These are just some examples. There's a million ways to stack your income. The ways I stack my income right now are I have my integrator offer, which is basically like I'm a part-time marketing manager for about 5 people. Then I also do coaching. I have some one-on-one clients, and then I have some group coaching clients. So every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central, I lead a group call with about 5 people on it. And that group coaching program is on sale until December 23rd if you want to join. It's called the Worthy of Wealth. But that's another way that I earn money. And then another way that I earn money is with affiliates. I don't make a lot of money from that, but last month I made over $1,000. And this month I've made $372 so far. And then from courses and affiliates, so tripwires and things like that. So that feels pretty cool. How else do I stack my income? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it right now. Energetic. So this is the last pillar. And this is where like After we've established financial safety, now we get to work on like really building a rich life, which is not just about the money. And you should be doing this while you're making money too. But now we get to talk about regulating your nervous system, feminine embodiment, manifesting. And these are things I talk about in detail in a course I'll be relaunching. You can buy it anytime, but uh, in the holistic art of attraction. But these are the things that will help you to have a rich life in every area. Because what I want for you at the end of the day is not just to make money in your business, but as your business grows, your self care should also grow. And often we do the opposite. Our business grows, our self care goes in the toilet because we're busy and we're prioritizing. We're like, oh, this money, this paper is really great. I love having this paper. And we forget to also take care of ourselves. And that's where you burnout. But the other beauty of working on energetics is that you want to be able to create more success over time that doesn't depend on your effort. Your success doesn't depend on your effort. It just feels that way in the beginning. Or for some of you, you need to lean into the masculine more. But for me, it felt like all of my effort was, or all of my success was dependent on my effort. And it took me a few years to get into feminine energetics, learn about manifesting, to realize that it wasn't all on me. And so now I have a boundary with myself where if I start, so like I have an income goal for next year, and then I'm like, grabbing the paper and I'm like doing the math, like how many hours, how many dollars per hour, how many clients is that, da 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 da. Say, no, that's a boundary. I have the income goal. I know what my clients are maxed out at. I'm going to trust that the income is going to come another way. I'm not going to limit my goal by what I believe is possible. That's the beauty of energetics. Okay, so this process, I take people through this in Worthy of Wealth over many months. So this, you can go to AllisonReyes.co/wow. And this program is 40% off for the first time ever. And this presentation is not just a sales pitch. I do have a free gift for you, but I did want to talk about WOW one more time. So the sales call, like the free call that I was doing, has expired, but there's still a couple of gifts. So I have these two gifts, and you can always pause the screen at the replay and get these links. Let me show you without my face. So you can go to AllisonReyes.co/income-audit, and this will take you to a Google Sheet where you can just kind of like audit. I'm just going to make sure this link works. Income audit. That'd be a bummer if it didn't, but I think it does. I think I tested it recently. Yay, it still works. So this is just like a kind of a checklist for you to like look at where your income is coming from. And then on the same sheet, notate like how you're feeling about that income. And then I don't have any more audit calls available, but you can go to facebook.com/the Allison Reeves. This is my personal Facebook profile. Do not message me on my business, because my business messenger is full of people telling me that my page is going to be shut down. Are you guys getting those too? I'm getting like 10 messages a day from obviously fake, like Facebook admins telling me my account's going to be shut down. So don't message me on my business page because I won't see it, because I'm salty about Facebook's spam block not being great. Anyway, so message me on my personal Facebook profile after you do the audit. So I don't have any more space to do these free calls, but you can just message me there and just ask me a question about your audit, and I'll give you some support. And of course, if you have any questions about WOW, the price is going to go up again on the 23rd. So I've never sold Worthy of Wealth for less than like $800 a month. And right now it's on sale for $477 a month. And it combines business coaching with all this mindset stuff. And Worthy of Wealth has been around since I think the end of 2021 or beginning of 2022 is when I launched it. I've had people, end of 2021, because I've had people who were in it for over a year and a half, because after you finish your first commitment, you can stay in it month to month. So I had two people that were in there for over a year and a half. There's one person who took a little break and now she's back. She's been there for over a year. A bunch of people who are in there for 6 months. But it combines like the business coaching with the mindset, and it's a small group. So like, again, colleagues would tell me like, I need to run ads and make the messaging better and try to grow this group program to hundreds of people and hire other co-coaches. And that's not what this is. It's a small group coaching program. We've got If I grow a group to the point where it's more than 10 people on a call, I create another call. So it's small. It's on a Facebook Live where you're like hoping you get a question answered. It's an affordable way to get one-on-one support from a multiple six-figure business coach. So Worthy of Wealth on sale. The price will go up to $797 a month, but right now it is $477 a month. So just be aware of that. What questions do you guys have for me? That's the end of the training. That's all I have. But I'm available for anything you guys want to chat about. Cool. I love your businesses. Got lots of coaches in the chat. Very cool. Victoria says, I'm so done with people on my LinkedIn DM. It's a bummer. I kind of like energetically gave up on LinkedIn a little bit, but my biggest client that I just got 6 weeks ago is from LinkedIn. So I'm glad that I post there occasionally because somebody was watching. I forgot that I went live on YouTube too. So we have got 11 people on Facebook, and I guess the remaining people watching must be on YouTube. Which, if you're watching on YouTube, oh, Angie, I see that you're okay. I can see where people are from. So Angie's from YouTube. Walk on the Creative Side is on YouTube. Okay. So a question here from Alex. Hi, beautiful. I'm curious about professional development training. Do you charge a workshop price or a price per participant with a minimum? What do you mean? I don't understand. Yeah, tell me more, Alex. Do you charge a workshop price? Do you mean like if I'm training, like someone's team? I would probably charge still per hour of my support. But it depends on if it was a big company, like if I was going to a big company and I was, okay, yes. So you're saying yes. So if it was a big company and I was teaching like more than 10 people at a time, I would probably change that price. And that's what I advise. So I have a client who she's a consultant to hospitals who want to develop their nurse practitioners. And so those are people who have big budgets. So like we're going to sell her course for probably something like $500. Whereas if we want the hospital to sell that course like per employee they have, we might offer them a different rate. Like we might offer them like 200 per person or 5,000 to license it for the year or 20,000 to license it for the year, depending on the volume. So I think to answer that question, so if you're going to do professional development training for a large company that has a big budget, I would get more information and then ask me about it. And I can tell you, because like I'm saying, like I would probably charge per hour, but then like, let's say I go and train someone's team and I spend an hour and a half. So I'll charge for that. But then like, what about the drive? What about the time it took to prep? What about the support that the team needs and the follow up and how I had to deal with the executive to build that training? So there's all these other costs that could go into it. It's possible though to use the personal development training. So depending on how large the audience is, you may want to do it for free or for cheap because you might be able to get clients out of it. So I've had other clients who would do those kinds of trainings for a low cost or for free because they would get executive coaching clients from that group later on. So definitely no rules. I like questions like that. Anything else? I didn't realize I could see like who's on YouTube and who's on Facebook, which is kind of fun. Yeah, I mean, that's the real answer, Alex. She said that's a good way to beta test it. The real answer is get data. The real answer is to do it. But I would say like it's not going to be a good lead generator if there's not a huge audience and they don't have a budget for it. So you can kind of feel it out from there too. But that's all I have for you guys. Again, AllisonReeves.co/wow to find out about Worthy of Wealth, the mastermind, which is $477 a month. And I've got those free offers at the end of the slides. Another question from the chat. I know what my money stories are, but I have a hard time shifting that story to a more empowering one. What is the one thing that works in your experience to start shifting our money mindset? So, do you guys hear my dog? What are you doing, bud? You want to say hi? Come on. He's like barely in the camera. Come here. There you are. His little nose. We'll just boop his snoot. His name is Atticus. So how to decide on how to work on your money story is I would start by creating like this is like mindset 101 and this may be too simple, but I would start with creating an affirmation around the mindset, around the limiting belief that you uncover. So create an affirmation around it. If you say that affirmation and it feels like bullshit, so like if you say an affirmation and it's like feeling stressful in your body, then you don't want to gaslight yourself into believing it's true. So if you say the affirmation and it feels like bullshit, then you want to create what's called a bridge statement. So a statement that you can believe in. So that's like mindset 101. But then I would also take the Wealth Wound quiz, which you can find on my website on my everything page if you can't find the link from the slides I showed earlier. But take the Wealth Wound quiz because depending on what your wealth wound is, there's an antidote that you'll be given in that quiz. And then the next step to that, so like mindset 101 is affirmations and bridge statements. And then the next phase is like, depending on how deeply rooted that limiting belief is, you may want to do some somatic work. So we may need to like look at, is this a pattern? How old is this belief and what does this belief need? Because we may need to address that on a nervous system level before your body will believe you. I see that for you, Alex. I love the idea of you leading small groups. So Lynette says, how do you decide on a niche to be a known expert when your business offerings can be quite broad? That's a good question. I hope that I'm a somewhat example of this because I feel like I'm a business and marketing coach who then got a somatic coaching certification. But I feel like you guys at least loosely understand what I do and who I am, right? Like I have a lot of different things I sell, but like you get my vibe. And part of that, Lynette, happens with just like consistency in your messaging. So part of my developing these 4 pillars and having them in a presentation is to remind you like this is what I'm about. I'm about mindset, I'm about marketing, I'm about income stacking, and I'm about nervous system regulation and manifesting. And I'm about all of those things primarily in the context of online entrepreneurs. And I wouldn't even say online entrepreneurs anymore because I've got so many more local, traditional, brick and mortar kinds of clients. I would say business, like small business owners. So like, I think you said your niche earlier. Let me go find your comment again. Coaching entrepreneurs and creatives with their clarity, confidence, and visibility. Clarity, confidence, and visibility. So one thing that was really helpful for me, Lynette, in determining my messaging, because I believe that it's more important to determine your messaging than it is to determine your niche. So one thing that really helped me with my messaging was doing market research. And then I don't know if you have any of my courses, but many of them have my market research questions in them. And then when you ask the market research questions to like 10 people, finding those common things that pop up over and over again. And that's how I came up with my pillars. It was from my brain and what I got excited about, but it was also what my existing clients were already dealing with that I was already helping with. So I feel like it's more important to determine messaging than it is niche. And then as long as your messaging is consistent and people get it, then you can kind of have a few different offers. And there's a lot of very successful people that are all over the place with their offers. Leonie Dawson is a popular example, millionaire all over the place. Lizzie Goddard, I feel like she's pretty more like narrowly known for online business, but she is like a multi-passionate and very experimental with her offers and loves to talk about that in her messaging. Victoria says, my life coach business is word of mouth, and I heavily rely on people who know me and I've helped before. Consistent content honestly depends on my alignment and inspiration. The word of mouth comes with some built in rapport, but I'm still figuring out how to build an organic business. My go to thing is to get on a podcast. So, going on a podcast is great if that's working for you. I haven't had a lot of traction from being a podcast guest. I do feel like a lot of people do that though and have success with it, but it didn't work for me for getting clients. And except for one case, when I was on my coach Jenny's podcast, I got like probably 2 or 3 course buyers from that podcast. So this is a really good question. I feel like that applies to a lot of people. So I want to reword it a little bit, which is like, how can you find leveraged marketing when most of your clients come from referrals, which is something that is hard to control? And I would ask, like, you have to create your watering hole your leverage is like, how can I create more opportunities for referrals? Because referrals can come from people who buy from you, but referrals can also come from people who just like see your work. So I'm wondering how you would feel about doing in-person workshops, like free in-person workshops to try to get clients. And I'm wondering what offer it is of life coaching. So yeah, I think I need more information, but like, so I'll give you another example. My client, I have a client who sells life coaching, and we realized like he was mass messaging people on LinkedIn and he was doing it in an aligned way. And what we realized from that mass messaging is that the people who were buying were warm. And so we're like, okay, mass messaging is working, but we have to find a way to warm them up. And so we just figured out that like his sales process, and he doesn't want to do workshops, he doesn't want to do trainings, he doesn't want to grow an email list. He's just like very old school. So we realized his funnel is to just expect to have like 3 to 4 sales calls with each person. So he mass messages people, he gets on the phone with people, and then he just lets the sales process take a long time, and then he closes $25,000 packages. Yeah, I feel like workshops could be really aligned for you. Because I remember when we were talking, and I was like really shook by some of your detailed knowledge in astrology. um, that's going to be 12 women. Yeah, 12 women is amazing to do a workshop in person and have 12 people come. Hell yeah. I would just that seems like it could be a strategy. But that's what I would ask is like consistent content is challenging. And I feel like sometimes social media is just not aligned for people. So in-person workshops can be amazing. And then you can find, so she says, okay, what I hear you say or what I'm getting intuitively, as I should request them to have one-on-one session or call with me at the end of the workshop. Yeah, you need a call to action. Or like at the end of the workshop, you could just ask for their emails and then start an email list. And then follow up with an email asking for a call. Like if you don't want to, depending on what feels aligned to ask for, at a minimum, you want to grow your email list so that you can reach out to them again. Because then you start growing a local list and maybe you have like people who come to multiple of your workshops. If you love the in-person thing and that's working for you too, you could start a meetup group. Because the cool thing about Meetup, it costs like $20 a month, I think, to be a host, but Meetup markets your group. So it's like, it'll start pushing it out to people who are Meetup members who are looking for more things to do. And then, yeah, your goal with in-person stuff, your goal with really anything, like email is like usually the lowest hanging fruit for leveraged marketing. Very, very good question that applies to a lot of people. I'm so grateful for questions. Hey, I want to know about your workshop. So tell me what it is. I don't know if I can come. I'm overwhelmed with plans, but I would love to come to one of your workshops. Okay, my loves. Anything else? Thank you guys so much for being here. I love it. We got 10 people on Facebook and 2 people on YouTube. I don't know. That's super fun. I'm on StreamYard, so I can go on multiple platforms at a time. Okay, that is all I have. So if there are any questions that come in later, we can keep talking in the chat, but I'm going to end this live here. And thank you guys again. I will see you around on the internet or in person. Okay, bye.